Well, good evening, folks. I've not posted any videos for a while, mainly because I've had nothing to say. For a change, you may think. But I just had a few thoughts about oil. And I changed my oil and filter tonight using this amazing slide under cassette thing, where you undo the two yellow screw threaded things and the oil splurges out straight down into that built-in funnel. The air comes out the top right yellow one, you undo that as well so it doesn't overflow. And then you put those back in and you've got a handle on it. You can take it to your local recycling centre, undo the left hand side. If you look on the very left of the picture, there's like a big screw thread, screw cap. And so you can take that and plonk it straight into a recycling centre bulk container, or you can use it to paint your garden fence or whatever. So I use that. I bought it years ago for a truck that I had. I use it all the time, and it does make life a lot easier. It's called an Ecotanica, I believe. You'll see it on this next photo here. There's the actual brand name on it. Ecotanica. Well worth having for regular oil changes. And as I say, I do mine every 2,000, 2,500. I know modern oils, it's supposed to last 10,000 or whatever, and oil technology is not what it used to be. It's a lot better, but I think, to be honest, I think changing it too often is better than not changing it enough. So that's what I do, and I've done mine tonight. And if you look at retailers in this country selling spares for these bikes, I think, personally, I believe there's a bit of a racket going on spares. As evidenced by the cost of oil filters, which are often offered for sale for 20 quid or more, genuine Royal Enfield oil filter. Yeah, right. In actual fact, the oil filter for the GT and the Interceptor is a readily available spin-on filter, and here it is on my own bike, put on this evening. It's a Marla OC458 spin-on filter. Now, I noticed that when I first bought my Interceptor, the oil filter on it had no identifying code numbers or anything. So if you've got a bike where you've just got that filter and you don't really know what it is, you're going to go and say, I'm going to buy a Royal Enfield one. Well, Royal Enfield do not make oil filters, do they? They make motorbikes, they don't make filters. They're obviously buying them in. And when you look at people retailing them in this country, it must be one hell of a markup on them if they're flogging them at 20 quid plus. So these are, as I say, £7.77. I bought 3. So effectively I got 3 filters for the price of one genuine Royal Enfield filter. I think the same goes for lots of other parts on the bike. I posted a video a while ago about handlebar levers. I paid 23 quid for a pair of levers. They came from China. They took about 10 days to get here. There was no rush. 23 quid. They're retailed in this country at 46 to 50 quid. And I looked at a bike recently that had the identical levers. They were 100% identical in all respects. Except I paid 23, whatever, just under 24 quid. And the other owner paid just under 50 quid for the identical thing. So my logic is that a lot of the spares for these bikes, they're not made in the UK. You haven't got somebody out there with billet aluminium CNC machines churning these things out. Retailers are just buying them in and flogging them on. The exception is something like Stratus headers, made in this country. Chain tensioners from Stratus, for example. Others, possibly Tech, other manufacturers, I'm sure, do make things, but a lot of the peripherals, including oil filters, are not made in this country. They're imported from China or India and then retailed on at a very healthy markup. Well, that's fine if people want to sort of use it's an official, genuine Royal Enfield filter, but they're not. It's, for me, I'd rather just buy 3 of them for the cost of a genuine Royal Enfield one. And it's a Marla filter, it's a reputable brand. So if you come to change your oil and you obviously will be changing your filter at the same time, then the best place to buy filters is, in my opinion, without doubt, is eBay. Don't go anywhere else. Just go straight on there. You'll get a genuine Marla filter in a Marla box. No, they're not copies, they're not rip-offs. I put a new oil filter and changed the oil on my 23-year-old Ford Ranger pickup truck, and it has a humongous great oil filter, about 3 times the size of our bike's filters. You know, it was £6, and I looked at it and thought, how come you can buy a filter this size with all the stuff inside it for £6, but a Royal Enfield filter for a motorbike costs £20 plus? It just didn't add up, hence my looking. I did post a video a long time ago about getting these filters, but here is just a little update. And like I say, my email address is in the video description, and also a link to the actual place where I bought my filter, or filters plural, from. And this final shot is just a repeat of the opening picture there on this video, which is the filter in place. Mine suffered. My original filter that was in lost all its paint and went rusty, because I put a stainless steel mudguard on my bike, and like a twit I threw away the mud flap off the old plastic front mudguard, and so all the road muck and that was being thrown onto the oil filter. I've now got fitted another Royal Enfield mud flap plastic bit at the front, so that filter will stay a lot cleaner than the old one. So there you have it, just a little sharing a little bit of information. I mean, if you're happy paying £20 plus for a Royal Enfield filter, yep, bring it on. If you want to pay what I think is a more reasonable price for something that is not inherently expensive, or shouldn't be, then follow that link in the video description. In the meantime, take care. I'll be posting again in about 3 or 4 days with a really good project I've got for this bike. Really good. I'm looking forward to it. So I'll be posting on that in a few days. So in the meantime, take care if you're out on your bike in this debatable weather in the UK, and I will post again soon. Bye for now.